excuse me, 9 plus 1 equals 10. Because once we get to 10, once we get to 9, every time we go to 9, every time we start in the center of 9. Every time we go to 9 of our count, the counterbalance will be the other way. When you have 9 and 9, it's 18. When you have counterbalance, you have 1 in between 9 and 9. The 1 is what balances the two sides of 9. Equaling to 9 and 1 is 10 of both sides because you center on the center balance. 9 on one side, 9 to the other is 9, 11, 9, 1, and 1 of the counterbalance. 9 on the outside of each, 2 in the center of 20. 10, when 10 begins, it begins on 17, 18, 19. Why? Because we have 2 in the middle of 1 on two sides. 2 in the middle of 1 on two sides equaling to 3. 3, 1, 3 with 1 in the center equaling to 7. We have 4 in a square. Onto each side, we have 8 around 1. We have 8 around 1, and we have 1 connecting to 9 in a diameter. We have 7 around 2, but we have 7 in between 1 and 9. 8 takes 1 to 9. 7 goes in between 1 and 9. 7, 8, 9, 24. 2 and 4 is 6. Sweet 16. 20 equals 26. But when we begin 10, we go to 16. When we begin 20, we go to 26. Because the other way is 17, 18, 19, 10, 7, 10, 8, 10, 9. All 10s equal 10 to 16. When you add up 10 to 16, 1 to 6, which is 6 areas, will equal 60 for the 10. 1 to 6 will equal to 21. It equals to 60 and 21 equals to 81 Venus. Add 6 for 10 equals to 87 the gateway. Remember, 7 and 8 are on two sides. 8 and 7 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 8 and 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 57, 75. But the 8 is prominent because with the one doorway takes us to one side or the other side. It's 15. The total is 15. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. The total is 15. I don't know if I have it in this book. Let me go back. I didn't get to finish the cube man. See his fire? Our hairs take out the here. See, when you start at 0, when you start at 10, it's 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10 is over here. So you don't do anything with 10. It's a box. But the minute you get out of that box, you start at 2. You start at 2 because 1 is on the sides. This here, 1 makes up the sides of the box. 1 makes up the roof and the floor. You don't need the back and the front. Back and the front is the numbers, the projected number. So when you begin, If I'm beginning to go to the left, I'll start over here. If I begin to go to the right, I'll start over here. 1, 2, 3. By the time I get out, it's 4. Why is it 4 all the way out? Because this is an automatic 9. This box is 9, 1 to 9. And then we're moving out. I can't explain exactly in layman terms. I wish I could. And remember, everything is 2 levels. If you're moving something that way, then the same rollers that are turning that way should be turning that way. You should have 2 groups at the same time, moving things that way and moving things that way. If the water on the top was going that way, then the rollers underneath would be moving something the other way. So now we're going to start with something pretty simple. 1 and 2. A plus B equals 3. A minus B equals 1. 3 and 1 is 4. F and E. F minus E is 1. F plus E, 5 and 6 equals to 11. 1 and 1 equals 2. F equals 1. 1 and 2 equals 1 and 2. But the total here, the expansion, is 1 plus 2 equals 3. The expansion over here is 1 and 3 equals 4. This one became 3. This one became 4. 3/4 of something. 4 is 1/4 of 12. 4 and 3. 4 and 12 ball are purple. It talks for 3/4, and that means the sky. 3/4 of the sky, because you can only multiply 3 by 3, but you can multiply 4 by 2, equal to 8. We're going to the maximum of their category. If 3 has a dot, then we're running it diameter. That means we're in growth. So here we get 12, here we get 4, and is 16. And the greatest number that we spoke about is 16. That is the polar belt. After 16, it's 25. After 25, it's 34. 16 equals to 21. 16 and 21 equals to the number to Nibiru. Why is 16 equal 1? Because 3 and 4 and nothing is in between but a half. So it's 0, 7. 0, 7 will equal 4 in its own because everything with 0 gets 6. 6 and 7 equals 1. 6 and 7 equals 13 and 1 is 14. That is what's wrapping around the dice. 1 and 3 equals 4. Between 2 and 5 gets 14. 1 and 4 equals 5. We have now 5, 4 equals to the sun. And the number is 59. E-I-E-I-O. Einstein. Everything is relevant, and so are the numbers. When you add up 2 to 5, okay, it equals to 15. 2, why? Because when you add up to this, it equals to 21. Take away 1 and 6 is 7. Sorry, equals to 14. Bolo, bola. 2 and 5 is the B world. 5 times 2, 5 plus 2, equaling to the church. Between 2 and 5 is 3 and 4. And 2 and 5 equals to 14. 7, 14, 21. The letter G, the letter U, and the letter N. Gun. 3, 7, and 5, the movement of the Earth cycle, 3, 7, and 5. You ever see a one face that has 3 corners? That's what it's about, 3 corners. 3 corners about 3 faces over here. 1, 2, center face over here. 366 degrees of this, 122, 122, 122 on a 120-degree angle. The reality is the center is 183. 8338. That's the numbers to the church of the Satan skies. The spirit that connects all the worlds, S, T, and N. The bridge, connecting the eyes, or maybe the spirit, or how about the senses of the body? The same way the senses might be connected through the eyes, down over through the nose, and down under the chin. So when you open your mouth, you either pull down your eyes or you pull on your nose. But wouldn't that be like that, like this? The 5 would be underneath here. So if you breathe it in, it's almost like number 5 is like something you see in the hospital. So we saw what this is all about. 8 is the difference in pull. 8 and 12 is the letter Z. The letter Z, the Tsar, R-A-Z. You see more of 9 than anything, or do you see Eve of 9? The Eve letter, the design, the Eve letter. I don't know if I want to come in here and do this, but we're going to show how Eve Have you ever seen this in a design cut off short? It's cut off short because there's an in-between. You see the bump over here? It's an in-between. So I start this one in between, halfway. I only need to go halfway because the middle doesn't need to be touched. It's between and it's shared. This is your value cube. This is Eve. This is the beginning of Eve. E-V-E. Eve. It's also the bull horns. One horn here, one horn here. The river is between the eyes. Let them flow so I can get a better vision. Raphael, 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. I'm not sure where that other piece I was working on right now, but I'm going to leave that alone. There's just cross configurations. Just one thing about number 8, right? This 8 over here is your angle 8, this one and this one. It runs through the 5 position. So you can go 1, right? You'd start over here in this corner. If 2, 4, 6, and 8 was only on the black area, you run from this area over here down to this area over here, and then over here to 6, right? If it was just these 4 cubes, 6 would be over here. If it was just these 4 cubes at a minimum, this is where 6 would be. But if it was the 6 cubes, I mean the 9 cubes, you would have to automatically change the whole formation. But in reality, it's these 4 or these 6. It's these 4 or these 4. Or these 4 or these 4. 4, 8, 12, 16 different ways of 4. And this one is involved in every single one. These 2, this one's left out. These 2, this one's left out. These 2, that one's left out. But this one's always involved. 4 times this one's involved, plus the value of itself. Anyways, ways of thought, Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching.